All right, well, I was not the only one who was confused. A lot of you on social media are really saying that you were equally confused with the cricket. But it's a good confusion. I mean, it's not one of those that leaves you spellbound, speechless, and hospitalized. It was none of that. And I can confirm that to the man who caused all of this confusion and caused us so much excitement and caused us to look at it and say, Nkosi yami, Kaka Ngidi. Kaka Ngidi. What did he tell you, Thakazela? Huh?
Ushomuka.
Hayibo. Uyishaye nje nawe mawusuzizwa ukuthi hey ungidi.
Ade bengicela njengoba sidlala so ngiye ngayikhipha kancane.
Oyidedele nje kancane.
Ungidi uhlomuka ubatshazwayo umadlolo umnguni.
Hey.
Zikhona zona.
Uke wayibamba nje diphini inkomo hlampulusa nje emajardini.
Imbuzi hayi inkomo.
Imbuzi kuphela.
Imbuzi.
Kuphi ekhaya kuphi kanje?
Ise-Kranskop.
eKranskop.
Yeah.
Kwakuliwe eKranskop abekutshela. Hey, ungodama usasemncane. Hey kwakuliwe eKranskop. Sekuthulile manje.
Abasho ngolutho abangitshelanga.
Hey, now the thing is, that conversation, we cannot translate. That's the beauty about it, is that we cannot translate what exactly has just happened right now. But the bottom line is that, how does a kid from Kranskop, like, I was down the road from Kranskop and I knew nothing about cricket, let alone, all I knew was a round ball that you kick. So how does Kranskop, Ngidi, Proteas, 6 wickets connect?
Oh, my dad moved to, Joburg. Initially, he was in Joburg, and then my mom was in Durban. So then eventually he moved back down to Durban, and I joined them there. And then we lived in Kloof. And then from there, went throughout school. I saw the game when I was about 7, and then, from there started playing a little bit, and then got into to school, went into high school. I really started taking the game seriously at about grade 10, and then the rest is history. I mean, I came up to Pretoria, and it's been a happy road ever since.
There's got to be that connect, though. What is that magical connect that you had to this game that needed you to grab this little ball, run, bowling action, and then you become the beast?
When I was 7, I was watching a dads and lads cricket game, and I was sitting on the bank and I was watching the kids, and the guy holding the bat, it looked a bit boring. And I saw the other guy who was holding the ball, he kept running up and down. So that looked a lot more interesting. So I thought, you know what, let me do that instead of just standing around. And I saw that if you miss the ball once and you're out, now you sit for the rest of the day. So that doesn't look like fun.
You were not for that.
Yeah.
Hey, well, it was going to take you back to Uglusak. That is why we started that way, is that the singular, most boring thing you can do is herd cattle. Ask me, I'll tell you. Boy. But that journey has been so sweet. I mean, what an honor to have him on the Magic House.
Before India came down, everybody talked about how difficult it was going to be, how stats weren't standing on our side, and it took one gent to make the magic happen, and tonight he's on the Magic Couch. It is such an honor, and like you say, from humble beginnings. And I'm so interested in his story to find out exactly where it changed for him to take on cricket, unlike the traditional football or perhaps even rugby. And for today to be a shining star for South Africa, to be the person who made sure that the Proteas locked and loaded it. Congratulations and thank you so much. Thank you is the right thing to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, and she's right, though, because there would have been moments now where you would go back home and then when you almost like, this is not for me. In fact, I could injure myself. And we'll talk about injuries later on, because you and injuries. So what was it that made you be able to be brave enough to say, not leaning towards that she spoke about, but I'm really going to focus on this?
I really love the game. The beauty of the game was just watching how patient people actually were. When you're batting, the skill level, being able to catch, throw, those kind of things, they really interested me. I mean, soccer didn't really look that interesting to me, running around chasing a ball. I mean, cricket is pretty much the same, but I mean, you know what I mean.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah,
no, trust me, you don't need me to tell you what I thought of cricket when I was at school, So, but the thing is, this is your moment.
Yeah.
So when it's challenge, you to be better in the toy.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look that interesting.
Yeah.
I did play a bit of rugby. I did enjoy my rugby, but their injuries as well were slowing me down.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had to make a crucial decision, and then I chose cricket, and you know, I started really taking it seriously, and it's been, you know, a very good journey for my family and I.
And I was going to quickly run to high school because, I mean, you obviously donned the very famous fleur de lis from Hilton College. And that would have meant that between rugby and cricket, you needed to be the boss in one of those two.
Yeah.
Now, when you did play rugby, what position did you play? And what team did you play?
Many won't believe me, but I actually played fullback. And I went through the ranks. I played 14A, 15A, then I stopped at 16A. And then I moved on to rugby. I mean, I moved on to cricket.
Cricket. Okay.
But I mean, I was a fullback, yeah.
Well, I guess that's a smart move because it gets heated.
Extremely smart move. But I also want to know from Lungi, you spoke about when you were 7 having an interest in cricket and playing rugby as well. But when did the final decision come that cricket is my sport and this is what I'm good at and this is where I'm going to flourish?
It was in grade 9. Shane Gaffney at the time, he was at Hilton College and he was one of my cricket coaches. He actually told me that he believed that I had the potential to play for South Africa one day. So, and he asked me to trust him, you know, make a decision of what sport I was going to take moving forward. And then I decided right then and there, you know what, I'm going to play cricket. And then, you know, I started focusing only on cricket, even during rugby season or rugby times, you know, athletics. I'd be in the nets, bowling, I'd be, you know, doing fitness tests, things like that. So, yeah.
Practice makes perfect, huh?
Yeah, sure. Now, the one thing, as we get to know Lungi Ngidi, this is literally what this whole thing is about, because what happened the other day, we saw.
Yeah.
And we will come back to it, we'll talk about it. But most importantly, you know what, Boeing, and I'm going to say to Nzizo Ngidi Guti, the one thing that makes me proud of what I saw was the scorecard. If ever there's a scorecard that I am going to frame for the rest of my life, it is that one. And it's for many fundamental reasons. Not so long ago, we would never have thought, ever, that we would have achieved those numbers. And never would have anybody thought that 10 of the wickets that would have been taken would have been from black South African cricketers.
It's been years.
Yeah. That's in a South Africa that you and I all know. You know, and when people fight this whole thing of transformation, they don't realize that it's about putting aside a person who has an ability to play sport. You know, and I think sometimes people with misguided concepts of what transformation is and should be think that it's giving a person an opportunity because of the color of their skin, and it isn't. It's just saying, open it up. Let's play. Let's be fair. Who's the number 1 test bowler in the world? Not the number 1 test bowler, black South African, or number 1 test bowler,
In the
black
world.
in the world. No, in the world. Green people, yellow people, orange people, whatever. He's the number 1, Rabad.
And the nicest thing is they're both so young.
Phew. Are we going to keep away from injuries?
Definitely. Now I'm on the right path now.
How sure are you of that? Because I get worried, man.
No, I mean, but it's sport. You
Yeah.
know, injuries happen. It's just that mine happened at a time when I feel like people were actually focusing on me at the time. And, you know, I got that side injury playing for South Africa. And then I was supposed to get another opportunity. Then I got a back injury. So, you know, it kind of highlighted it. And, you know, it probably made people think that I'm injury prone. But it was just 2 injuries at a very specific time in my career where I was actually taking off.
But what's the latest prognosis from the doctor? I mean, they're giving you the all clear, I would imagine now, and you probably feel as fit as a fiddle at the moment.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, the training has been hectic.
Yeah.
The off-season was very tough. There was a lot of chats that I had behind closed doors with my coach, Mark Boucher. You know, honest chats, you know, telling me if I wanted to play for South Africa, what I needed to do. So I feel like I'm on the right path now, and I know the way moving forward.
Now, the most amazing thing is that listening to all your teammates, and they all had great things to say about you. And I know Faf as well. Faf kind of took Kagiso at some point to be like, realize your potential. But Kagiso's another level-headed person. And a lot of your teammates were saying similar things about you, about your character, the kind of person that you are, that you deserve the success that you had a day or so ago. What's that mix like? And how important is it to literally get it right with the new coach, with your captain, with yourselves as the young SA cricketers?
You know, it's believing in yourself a lot. I think we've gotten it right in terms of we're playing fearlessly. I mean, you know, we're not thinking about failure.
Yeah.
And we've been given an opportunity. And I mean, that's all you can ask for. And once you get it, you know, grab it with both hands, because it disappears just as quickly as it comes. But I mean, you know, the whole setup has been so professional, and it's so welcoming. You really feel like you belong. And, you know, when you get out onto the field, you actually feel like, you know, I belong at this level, and I'm just going to play.
Because, again, the age factor comes in at just 21. Hey? 21. And this is not a football age. They don't have cricket age.
They don't have cricket age.
They don't have cricket age. So we will believe you when you say you're 21. And we know the records are there. We just have to drive down the Midlands. We'll find the records there. Proper. Social media, I don't even want to touch it. I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to try surf through all of this. Pharmacist on call says, we thank you for bringing Lungi Ngidi on the Magic Couch. Such a chilled guy. And Tabo says, in SA or worldwide, who's your favorite veteran bowler? And Tabang says, Lungi, Rabada, Petlugwaya, Bavuma, Philander, proud of these lads, and we should be celebrating them. And also coming back to that question, how did you feel seeing all the headlines? Ngidi steamrolls India. You know, everybody's talking about you. How did it feel?
It was really amazing. I mean, it's not something I'm used to, so it did overwhelm me a bit. I didn't know. I mean, I'm still trying to respond to messages that people are still. I'm trying to respond to everyone, you know. But it was really overwhelming at the time. You know, just a very special moment as well. Even press have been interviewing my parents. That's never happened. So, you know,
what do they want from your parents?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, tell us more about your son.
Yeah.
Eh?
So, you know, lots of different interesting things have been happening lately. You know, it's been a lot.
And how was their reaction, the parents?
They were very happy. I mean, my mom even cried. She loves to pray, so she phoned me before the game, and she was praying on the phone. And you know, I needed to actually hand in my phone because we're not allowed our phones, but she was not stopping. But you know, it was a very very beautiful moment for my family. You know, just to hear our surname being announced like that, you know, was just really a blessing.
Oh, that's amazing. And and I suppose to have played again provincial cricket from under 13 upwards says something, right? You calculate the ages.
Yeah.
Talked about the interest at 7. From under 13 upwards, every age group played provincial cricket. I mean, that is already success saying to you, do you smell me? Do you smell me? And if you can't smell, hey, we can't help you. We cannot help you at all. But the one thing that can help you is Crystal Arnold was there. I mean, capturing some of the reaction post the match as well, getting a word from the captains and what they had to say. And I'll come back. I want to find out which for you was that standout wicket that you took. But let's get a wrap from Crystal.
Before India arrived at the start of 2018, they had never won a test series on South African soil. This, their 7th series in SA, and that record remains as South Africa needed just one session to wrap up India's innings, claiming victory by 135 runs and taking an unassailable lead in their 3-match series.
New Zealand was almost like on fast forward. Sort of exciting game, and this was the complete opposite. It needed a game of a lot of grinding, a lot of hard work.
These conditions were something that we are used to playing at, and you know, we should have certainly done better than what we have. But having said that, you know, it's about which team plays collectively better. And as I mentioned quite a few times already, that South Africa collectively were a much better team than us, regardless of the pitches we played on. Their bowlers put relentless pressure on us as a batting unit, and their batsmen as well, after losing a few wickets, they would string in a partnership. So they showed more character than us.
We feel as opposition, India is very reliant on Virat to score runs. So that's the difference in terms of AB scored runs, Dean scored runs, I scored runs, Aiden scored runs, everyone's chipped in. It's been, the first test was bowling friendly conditions where both teams bowled really well. But I thought this test match, like I said, on a wicket that's supposed to not suit seam bowling a lot, the areas that our bowlers bowled were fantastic. And I suppose we've got probably a little bit more pace, which helps. They've got one or two guys where I feel we've got 3 plus Vernon, which Vernon offers you all that control.
Player of the match, Lungi Ngidi, bowled South Africa to series success. He ended with figures of 6 for 39 and 1 for 51 in his debut test.
From our side, it's important to make them feel like they belong, because I feel when you do that, you get the best out of their performances quickly. But then for them to perform means that they're very mature heads on their shoulders. They don't see the occasion as too big. They just see it as another game where they can perform. And not ever, when I looked at Lungi, did I sense any nerves. He was really calm. He just wanted to bowl, and he was excellent. I said his control really, really impressed me a lot. And that is great signs for him as a test bowler going forward.
With a 2-0 lead, South Africa meet India for the final test in a week's time at the Wanderers, the scene of a 2013 drawn test between the sides.
I'd favour being ruthless and making sure that you can try and dominate a team. We haven't had that opportunity for a while to beat India 3-0. So I wouldn't make, I don't think the team would make changes just to give guys opportunity, although it's a good thing. For me, it's about having the foot on the gas and making sure you apply as much pressure as you can with your strongest 11.